Hare Krishna. सत्यानंद चिंत शक्त्येक पक्षे सर्वाध्यक्षे भक्ति रक्षादि दक्षे श्री गोविंदे विश्वसर्गादि कंदे पूर्णानंदे नित्यमास्तां मतिर्मे अज्ञाननीरधिरुपैति यया विशेषं भक्ति पराप भजति परिपोषमुच्चैः तत्वं परं स्फुरति दुर्गमम् अप्यजश्रं सत्कुञ्जमृत्वरचितं प्रणमामि गीतं गौरां सुखप्रमुद कुमुद प्रमोदी स्वाभीक्या गोस्तमो निहंत श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य सुधा निधिर्मे मनोदितिष्ठन् स्वरतिं करोतु प्राचीन वाचस्सु विचार्य सोऽहम् अज्ञोऽपि गीतामृतलेशलिप्सुः यत प्रभोर्येव मदेत तत्र शन्तक्षमध्वं शरणागतस्य सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोक्ता गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् मूकं करोति वाचालं फंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं गीतासु गीता कर्तव्या किमन्यै शास्त्रविस्तरैः यस्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद् विनिश्रिता नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकासस्वामिति नामिने नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे योऽन्त प्रविश्यावाचमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत् अखिल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यां हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं पान्त्वस्मान् पुरुहूत वैरिमलवन् मातङ्गमाद्यद्घटा कुम्भोच्छात्रिविपाटनाति कपटु प्रत्येकवज्रायिताः श्रीमत्कण्ठीरवास्य प्रदर्शनकरा धारिदारादिदूरब्रह्मस्तत्त्वान्तशान्तप्रवृत्तमनसः भाविता भूरिभागैः. Hare Krishna. Welcome you all for this Bhagavad Gita 6th day Gita Sastri session, and today we'll be looking at chapter number 4 and also the leftover shlokas from chapter number 3, and we will not be covering full chapter of the fourth one because it has 3 different things to discuss. So we'll discuss today 2 of the important things in chapter 4, and also we'll save something for tomorrow, chapter 4, and since tomorrow chapter 5 and 4 are interconnected and 4 is quite small, so we'll cover tomorrow the remaining portion of chapter 4. So last 5 days we have been discussing on the first 3 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So in that Lord Krishna, having a merciful attitude that he comes to this world to establish his dharma. So wherever is possible, he wanted to establish his dharma, and in the process of establishing dharma, he has done so many things in his avatara, Krishna avatara. But at the end of his avatara, he wanted to give something very substantial so that people can follow in the future also, because now we cannot see Krishna avatar, but we have Krishna's teachings. So in order to establish the dharma very profoundly in the upcoming ages, Krishna has spoken this Bhagavad Gita, keeping Arjuna as a cause, as a reason for speaking this Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna was put into confusion purposefully by Krishna, and Arjuna tried to present his opinions. If you see in Bhagavad Gita in the first chapter, Arjuna goes on speaking about his opinion. Krishna was not at all talking anything. Krishna was just listening what he wants to say. First of all, we need to listen the opposite person what he wants to say. So Krishna was just listening, and Arjuna was speaking like he knows dharma. He was like so merciful, and he was like so detached, and he was expecting that Krishna will praise him, because after all, when somebody says, I don't want this kingdom, I want to renounce, I want to become a beggar. So this is the whole purpose of spiritual life, that we get out of this attachment and we get attached with spiritual things. So Arjuna was actually thinking that if I speak like this, that I want to run away from the war, I don't want this kingdom, I don't want Swarga, I can live by begging, Krishna would be very happy. Arjuna was thinking like that. But as soon as he heard Krishna speaking, Kutastva Kasmalamidam Visamesam Paschitam, Anarya Jushtam Aswargyam, Akirti Karamarjuna, Klaipyam Mas Magamah Partha, Naitatta Yugapatyade, Kshudram Hradaya Davarbalyam, Tekto Adashta Parantapa. As soon as he heard this, hey Arjuna, this is not good, this is not befitting to you, this is enonch, this is so bad, it will not give you glory, it will not have you good destination also. When Krishna spoke like this, Arjuna could not believe, because Shastra speaks about Ahimsa Paramo Dharma, to show mercy on the living creature. It is the highest dharma. Non-violence is the highest dharma. So Arjuna was thinking that Krishna will be happy by means of my non-violence act. But Krishna was fearsome. He was furious. He was shouting on Arjuna. Arjuna could not believe. Then Arjuna surrendered. Karpanya doshopahata svabhava prachamitvam dharma sammudachetaha yashreyascha nishchitan bruhitan me shishyasteham sadhivam tvam prapanam. Hey Krishna, really I don't know what is good for me. I'm speaking like a pandit. I'm speaking like an intelligent person in front of you. I'm speaking like this. Sorry, without knowing your opinion, I was just giving my opinion. I should have surrendered to you in the beginning itself. As soon as I had a problem, I should have surrendered to you. It's not that you go to a doctor and you explain that you have such and such disease and you start giving yourself medicine. Doctor will laugh at you. Who is doctor here? You or me. Why did you come to me if you give your own medicine, if you give your own prescription? So Arjuna was, so Krishna was, he was just a little laughing. He was smiling and he started to talk. Then as soon as Krishna started to talk, Krishna spoke. Arjuna, he went to the root cause of Arjuna's problem. The root cause of Arjuna's problem is thinking that he is the body. The difference, he was completely ignored. He was completely in ignorance about the body and spirit soul. So that is the base of all our ignorance. If we can understand this thing, that we are different from this body, then all our problems goes just like that. So Krishna wants to go to the root of the problem, which is to educate him on the knowledge of the soul. So Krishna spoke the difference between the souls, and also the difference between soul and matter, and also the difference between Paramatma and Jivatma. He spoke this thing in the beginning of that shloka, beginning of his teaching, and he said there are very important quality which is needed to understand the soul. That is Tam Titikshashva Bharata. To understand anything spiritual or to sustain in spiritual life, we need titikshva, we need to be tolerant. So he, having spoken that, then Krishna start to give various answers that soul is eternal, soul cannot be destroyed, and body is temporary anyway. Even if you try to save the body, it won't be helpful. So having speaking all this thing, then he saw Arjuna's face. Is there any change? Arjuna did not change anything. Then Krishna gave a conclusion. Sadharma pichavekshya navikampitu marhasi dharma viddachreyonyaha kshatriyasya nevidyate. Hey Arjuna, there is nothing better than you, better for you to do fight. As a kshatriya, it is always better for you to fight, because you have asked me, Shreyoha, you said me, please instruct me what is good for me. So I'm telling you, the best thing is to fight. So if you fight, you will get heaven. If you lose, you will. If you lose, you will go to heaven. If you fight, you will get kingdom. If you don't do that, then you will get infamy. Then it is more worse than death. He gave various reasons, and also again he saw Arjuna's face. Arjuna did not change anything. He was like before itself. So Krishna has to change the topic a little bit. He says, "Eshade bhidyate shanke buddhi yogam imam shranu buddhya yuktaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi." Because Arjuna may be thinking that yes, Krishna, soul is eternal, body is temporary, but still fighting and killing, it's sin, because for every action there will be equal and opposite reaction. So if I kill my elders, if I kill brahmanas, then if I kill my relatives, then I will get sin. How to get out of the sin? Okay, Krishna is now going to answer this question, how to get out of the sin. Karma bandham prahasyasi. You will get out of the sin. How? Eshate bhidyate shanke buddhi yogat imam shranu buddhya yuktaya partha. Along with buddhi, if you perform your activities, then you can break all your sin. So Krishna goes on instructing how to do this buddhi yoga. So he said, I have explained to you about this heaven, hell, all these results in the Vedas, but don't be stuck with this results, with this so-called temporary results. You should understand the purpose of the Veda. The purpose of the Veda is not to give you the heaven or hell. You should understand the purpose of Veda is to understand the realized soul and also to come back to me. That is the whole purpose of Vedas. So don't stuck with the results. You should not work for appraisals, or you should not work for punishments. Rather, you should work for as a responsibility to improve your knowledge and also for the pleasure of your boss. That is the whole purpose of your employment here in this world. So don't consider too much about the Vedas. Vedas are like that. It is meant for 3 modes of people, but you should come above the 3 modes and come to the Sattva level. So you should understand the purpose of the Veda. So what is the purpose of the Veda? Purpose of the Veda is to understand yourself, that is Atma, and also to realize the soul. So that is the whole point which I have given the Vedic literature, but you are misunderstanding. You just got stuck with some middle point and you are not going above it. You should come above it. So he said, you should do your work with this 3 kind of understanding, with these 3 kinds of tyaga. That is mamata tyaga, kartrutva tyaga, and phala tyaga. So these 3 kind of tyaga you should have. It is not my duty. I am not the doer, and the results doesn't goes to me. So with this 3 tyaga, if you do your duty, then karma won't touch you. Durene hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya. So he says, durene hi avaram karma. Keep all the phala giving karmas, that is kamya karmas, away, because jnana is superior. What kind of jnana? Atma jnana is superior. So ultimately, the karma leads you to jnana. That's what Krishna says. So on the end of karma yoga, there is nishkama karma yoga. He was teaching Shruti Vipratipannate yadastyasasi nischala samadho vachala buddhihi tata yogam avapsyasi. So if you perform your nishkama karma yoga in this way, with this understanding of 3 kinds of tyaga, then what happens? You can come across all the Shruti Vipratipannate. Then shotavyasya sutasya. Then you will understand the real purpose of Vedas, and you will get achala buddhihi. The result will be achala buddhihi. At the end of nishkama karma yoga, you will get achala buddhihi. That is study intelligence. That is fixed intelligence. Fixed intelligence means what? To understand that you are the soul, to realize that you are the soul. That is called Sita Pragya. So Arjuna was interested to know, okay, Krishna, I wanted to hear about that Sita Pragya. What is the definition for Sita Pragya? Who has realized the soul, or who has fixed intelligence, and how he sits, how he walks, how he talks. So I want to know all these 3 things. So Krishna started to explain what is the quality of Sita Pragya. In that we saw Yatamana Samya and Vyatireka Samya. We saw Ekendriya Samya and also Vashikara Samya. We saw all this Samya. And also Krishna spoke about how the person, he is able to control his senses, and what is meant by controlling his senses. Then Krishna says, by controlling senses, you can realize the soul. By realizing the soul, you will not have any taste for the lower sense objects. So self-control will automatically happen. So this both doesn't go together. Krishna started confusing. If you control your senses, then you will have self-realization. When you have self-realization, senses will be automatically controlled. So Arjuna is asking what I should do now first. Whether I should get sense control and get self-realized, or after getting self-realized, I will get sense control. So Krishna is telling the another reason. He says, Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashehi yasya indriyani tasya pragnya pradishtita. Arjuna, sense control is necessary to realize your soul. But how will you control your senses? Tani karmani samyamya yukta asita matparaha. By meditating on me, you can control your senses. By means of that sense control, the mind will be purified. When mind is purified, the intelligence will gain strength. When intelligence got strength, then it will have the fixed samadho. Samadhi means samyak dhyayati, means it has very good fixed intelligence or fixed thought process on the soul. So that is called samadhi. So Krishna says, unless you have meditation on me, then you cannot, it's not possible for you to control your senses. So he said that, and after that he said, so what is the ultimate result? What is the ultimate result of your self-realization? Self-realization leads to where? Then he says, Esha brahmani siddhi partha nainam prapya vimukhyate stitva asyam antakalepi brahma nirvana mrichyati. So after realizing the soul, then you will realize me, then you will attain me. Oh Arjuna, you are thinking about, you are asking about heaven, hell, forget about it. Forget hell and heaven. You will attain me. What is a great thing? What is the most, what can be the most great thing than attaining me? So he said, ultimately you will attain me. So with this, he finished the second chapter. So now Arjuna is very happy. He said, okay, Krishna, realizing the soul is the ultimate purpose of Vedas. And after realizing the soul, I will attain you. So this is what I want. As you said, we have Nishkama Karma Yoga. From Nishkama Karma Yoga comes Jnana. From Jnana, we get soul realization. From Atma realization, I will attain you. So why I should go for Karma Yoga? I can directly go to the Jnana Yoga. So Jnana Yoga means giving up your duties, running away, restricting your senses, taking up sannyasa. That is what Arjuna wanted. Because Arjuna always finding some place where he can run away from the war. So now he is trying to find this place. Okay, Krishna, you told me that Durenihi Avaram Karma. Karma is very far away from Jnana. So I will take up Jnana Yoga. By this, I can get to the soul realization very easily. Jayasi karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatkim karmani gore mam niyojayasi kesava. Hey Keshava, you are my friend. No, why are you doing me like this? Why are you engaging me in this gora karma? It is not even good karma. Okay, karma means at least calling for brahmanas and giving some charity and doing some worship and doing a gift. But you are asking me to do gora karma. You are asking me to fight. You are asking me to kill. You are asking me to burn. What kind of karma is this? By means of doing this karma, how will I get jnana? How will I get atma jnana? How will I get liberation? So, vyamishrene vakyena buddhi mohayasi me tadekam mada nishchitta yena shreyoham apniyat. Krishna, you confused me. I'm already confused. So you are confusing me. But you are not actually confusing me because you are always my well-wisher. I am confused. I don't know what is good for me. Again, he is telling, yena shreyoham Vyamishrene vakyena tada buddhi yoga vasiyame tad ekam vada nishchitya. Please tell me one. Just tell me one thing to follow. Don't tell me two things. Then Krishna says, Lokesmin dvita nishta pura prokta mayanaha jnana yogena sankyanam karma yogena yoginam. Arjuna, I did not confuse you. You got confused. Don't tell me I am confusing you. I am telling you very clearly there are two paths. One is those who can control their senses. Those who have Drida Chitta, Drida Vairagya, they can take to Jnana Yoga. But in this material world, especially in this Kali Yuga, we see most of the people are not at all fit for Jnana Yoga. They are all fit for Karma Yoga because Karma Yoga is easy to perform. Nahi kaschit chanamapi jata dushtata karma krut karete avasyat karma sarva prakriti jerikunahi. Because Karma Yoga is like it is born with you. From the right from the child, right from the birth, the child starts crying. So it is a form of karma yoga. So child cry because it is dharma. Child's dharma is to cry, and brahmachari's dharma is to serve. So this karma yoga is born with you, and it is very easy to perform. And also it doesn't have any dangers like taking sannyasa and when again you fall down. And also this karma yoga will lead you to jnana yoga very easily. But Jnana Yoga, even if you are a Jnani, still you have to perform karma. You may take sannyasa, you may run away from your family, but this body is there. Where can you leave your body? Your belly is there. You have to go and beg for something. So even a sannyasi has to go for bhiksharana. Every day he has to go and beg. So that is his dharma. So sannyasi also has to perform his dharma. So ultimately everyone has to perform their dharma. So being a Kshatriya, being a Grahastha, you should perform your dharma. There is no way to run away from dharma. This is what I have established in this world. So if you do your dharma, then you will get jnana. So that's what Krishna says. So again, Arjuna is asking question. Okay, Krishna, you are telling me to do karma, but if I do my karma, I will get sinful reactions. How to come out of the sinful reaction? He has already explained this. How he explained? He said, what is that famous shloka? That you have only right for your to do work. That shloka is slipping me from my mind. What is it? What's that shloka? Famous shloka, no? You have right to perform your duty only. Okay. Karmanyevadikaraste. Thank you. So karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalahedurubhor mate samgosta karmani. So Krishna has already answered him. He said, if you perform your work like this with these three kinds of understanding, then you will not get sin. But Arjuna's question is, okay, if I do my karma, who is going to get result? That it cannot be I do my karma, nobody is going to get result. What kind of work is this? So nobody will do any work. I'm doing my work and nobody is going to anyway get some result. So who will do any work? You see, every day I wake up, I walk in the street, I walk some 10 kilometers and I see some field. I start digging something and come back. So what kind of work is this? It's not my land. I'm just working there and I don't expect any result. So what kind of work is this? It's useless endeavor. So what kind of work is this? How I should work? Then Krishna says, Yagyartat karmano yatra lokoyam karmandanaha tadartam karma kaunteya mutta sangas samachara. You don't work for yourself and you don't work for useless also. You work for me. Yagyartat. Here yagya means yagyo vai vishnuhu. You work for me. If you work for me, then you will not get any reaction, because as a soldier, if he is working for his country, thinking that this is country's duty and I am instrument of a country and the results goes to country. So if you think like this, then you will not get any sin. So for Lord, for self-realization. Okay, I'm maintaining this body for what? I'm maintaining this body for self-realization, to practice my spiritual life, ultimately to serve God. So with this understanding, if you perform your karma, then you will not get any sin. So with Krishna has said that, and now Krishna goes to the original cause. This is the original cause that I have created this world, Arjuna. People, they don't understand why I have created this world. Like you are now here. I have created this world, this big company, for a specific reason. But you people, that you don't understand why I have created this world, and you are using this world as you like. So Krishna goes on speaking that this world is created with a specific purpose. What is that shloka? Annad bhavanti bhutani. No. Devan bhavayata dena sahayajna prayasishtva purvavacha prajapatihi anena prashavishvatvam yeshavo dishta kamadut devan bhavayata dena te deva bhavayantuvaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyam paramavapsata. He says, Krishna, Arjuna, you should understand the cause or the original reason why I have created this world. Because in a company, everybody can perform their own work. Everybody perform their own work, but the company has some specific purpose, specific goals to attain. If everyone is doing on their own, if everybody is working for their own sense gratification, for their own happiness, then company won't get any kind of progress, and there is no use to call ourselves as a employee there. So Krishna says this world is created for yajna, for sacrifice. So that's why he says sahayajna prajashishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prashavishvatvam yeshavodishta kamaduk. First of all, this world is created, and along with this world, the Vedas are given. So Vedas are instructions to people how to live in this world. So Vedas, they teach us how we should live in this world. By devan bhavayatayadena te deva bhavayantuvaha. By having mutual understanding between demigods. First of all, we should understand this world is not created without any purpose, and we are not here without any purpose. We are here, we are selected, and we have given this appointment of human birth with all kinds of facilities, and also under the supervision, under the control of all the demigods. So first of all, we should understand this thing, and we should show our gratitude to the demigods. So this is how the human life starts. So how to show our gratitude? How, from where this yajna starts? Yajna starts from food. We all eat, whether you belong to Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, doesn't matter. Everyone has different dharmas, different karmas, but everyone have one common dharma, very easy dharma. That is, we all eat food. So Krishna says, with food, we can start our yajna. That's why Krishna says, Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavaha yajnat bhavati parjanyaha yajna karma samudbhavaha yajna sishtashana santo muchyante sarva kilvishaihi bunjate te tvaham pava epajantyatma karanat. So karma brahmodbhavam vidhi. He gives a cycle. Arjuna, there's a cycle going on in this world. Don't try to break that cycle. The cycle is from food, all the living entities, they come up, and rain is the main cause of our food, and rain comes from Yajna. Yajnas are mentioned in the Vedas, and Vedas are coming from me. So ultimately, whatever I'm teaching, whatever I'm speaking, that is dharma. You're all meant to follow that dharma, that Yajna. So what is Yajna? Yajna means not some offering ghee in the fire. Yajna means obeying the order of the Lord. So I'm telling you, you fight. Don't try to run away from fight. Don't think too smart. In a company, yes, it is right. We should save the printer paper, because the paper, there's an instruction that we should not print too much. We should save the paper, the print paper. When an owner comes and says, okay, I want a result, please give me the result, print the paper and bring me the result. Then the employee comes and says, sir, we should save paper, sir. I can explain it to you. I can tell it in my mouth, or you will know by means of by end of the year, you will know what is profit, what is loss. Why to waste our papers? If somebody says like that, is foolish. Similarly, Krishna is saying, I'm running this big company for a specific purpose, and you are all meant to work in this company for understanding, for achieving that purpose, that goal. That's what Krishna says. Don't try to break that circle. And then Krishna, after saying that, then he said, food is the main important thing in our spiritual life, because in Shastra it is said, ahara suddhau sattva suddhihi drivas smritihi drivas smriti labdva sarva granthim vipramokshaha. By means of proper food, then our intelligence, then our thought process becomes pure. When thought process is pure, then intelligence is fixed. When intelligence is fixed, then sarva granthim, that is the knot in the heart, attachment, goes away. So in this way, he explained about how everyone should act. Is there any exception? We should act like this all the time? Till end of our life, we should act like this? No. Then Arjuna is thinking, okay, Krishna, you are speaking about the purpose of this creation, about demigods. I understand. Do I also belong to this role because I am a soul surrendered to you? I am a complete devotee of you. Whether I should also follow like this? Then Krishna says, no, you are not like that. Why? Because those who have understood, those who have realized the soul, for them there is nothing to do in this world. Because when you need help, when you take help from someone, then you say thank you, correct? But you don't go in the road and say thank you to everyone, because there is no relationship between you, yourself, and people who are going in the road. Similarly, those who have realized the soul, they have nothing to do with this world. They have nothing to take from demigods. They have nothing to take from rishis. They have nothing to take from pitris. They have nothing to take from living entities. They have nothing to take from Vedas, because they have already achieved the purpose of Vedas, that is self-realization, that is serving God. So yatsvatmartinevasya atmatruptascha manavaha atmanyevacha santushtah tasya karyam na vidyate. For self-realized soul, there is no karya. Then Arjuna is happy. Okay, Krishna, now I'm also self-realized. Since I'm seeing you, I'm a great devotee of you, so I also don't need to work. Then Krishna says the next sloka, Naivatasya kridena artho. Still Arjuna, Naivatasya kridena artho, Nagrideneha kaschana, Nachasya sarva bhuteshu, Paschittartavyapashrayah. The self-realized soul, they may perform activities also. And even after performing their activities, they won't get karma. Tasmat asakta sadalam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma parama apnoti purushaha. So Arjuna, even if you are a self-realized person, still you can act, because you are a self-realized person, you will not get any sin. Okay, Krishna, I'm not self-realized. Then you should act for sure to get self-realized. In both the case, you should act. If you are not self-realized, you act, you do your karma, you will get self-realization. If you are already self-realized, then what is the problem in acting? Because anyway, you will not get any sin. So in both the cases, there is no running away from Nishkama Karma. So Krishna is just pushing him, is just making him tolerant. No, you should act, you should fight. Because this is the Bhagavad Gita. It is not Uddhava Gita. If it is Uddhava Gita, then Krishna will tell you, run away from this world. You get out of this world. You get detached from this world. That is different Adhikari. But here Adhikari is different. Here Arjuna is Adhikari. He is a Kshatriya, he is a Grahastha, he is the mid of the war, so he should perform his duty. So to do that, Krishna will do everything. So this is my humble suggestion that Prabhuji, please tell the shloka number. Okay, I will tell you the shloka number in the quiz program. So one small thing I want to tell you, that whenever you see a shloka in Bhagavad Gita, please try to understand why this shloka is spoken here. Because Krishna is speaking and Arjuna is hearing, there should be some connection. Without connection, Krishna won't speak. Without connection, Arjuna won't ask. And what it has to do with me, this shloka, what it has to do with me. So think in this way. Always see what is the relationship. Don't take Bhagavad Gita shlokas like quotes. Like today, nowadays, there are so many famous quotes. He said this and he said this. There are many quotes. So don't take Bhagavad Gita like a chunk, like a small quotes. Yes, we can use it, but Bhagavad Gita has an ultimate purpose. Like Krishna himself misunderstood. Arjuna himself misunderstood. He said there are so many different dharmas, but ultimately Krishna said, you follow me. You follow me. So that's why we should always think like this. If you see Acharya's commentaries, they always speak like this. Why Krishna is speaking this verse? Why Arjuna is asking this kind of question? They always clarify. If we can understand this, if you can see this in Bhagavad Gita, then you can understand Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, we can study Bhagavad Gita for many years. We will not understand. We will not come to why Krishna is speaking this, why Arjuna is speaking like this. We will not understand even what is Bhagavad Gita. Then we'll end up in Bhagavad Gita for pregnancy, Bhagavad Gita for business, Bhagavad Gita for software engineers, Bhagavad Gita for how to become rich. So this is not the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has a specific purpose, but it is in Bhagavad Gita itself. Try to read this Bhagavad Gita according to Acharya's commentaries and try to see the examples, then you will understand. So Arjuna has asked this question, then Krishna has explained him, even if you are not attached, still you have to do your duty. Why? Because he gives an example that karmanaivehi samsiddhim asita janakadaya lokasangramevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. Even you can take the example of Janaka Maharaja or Prithu Maharaja or Priyavrata Maharaja. All these great kings, they were performing their duties, and by performing their own swadharma, they got Atma Jnana. So karma naivahi samsiddhim, not because of from karma jnana samsiddhim. No, karma naivahi samsiddhim. Just by doing their karma, they got samsiddhim. Asya janakadaya lokasangraha mevapi. Lokasangraha means just to give an example for the people in general, we should follow our karma. Otherwise, Janaka Maharaja is very detached. So if he thinks, okay, I will get detached, I will not do my duty, then people will also start following that prematurely. So if you are a leader, we should set a proper example from Shastras. Even though Shastras give various rules and regulations, we should follow certain rules that everybody can follow. Like Srila Prabhupada himself, he is pure devotee. He can just accept any instruction from Shastra. He can follow big brothers. He can follow some strict rules, but he was not doing. He himself was following whatever he was teaching, waking up early in the morning, attending Mangalarati, chanting 16 rounds, reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and preaching and eating prasad. He was following these rules. Why? It is not that he cannot do higher things. He can do, but loka sangraha me papi, because the sishyas, the disciples will follow him. So he has to keep the rules very clear, very simple, and very powerful, so that people, those who are following him, they will not get confused and they will get easy perfection. So that's why Krishna says, then Krishna gives his own example. He says, Name partasti kartavyam trishalokesha kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayeva cha karmani yadikhagam na vartayam jatu karma natantrataha manuartmana vartante manushya paratta sarvasaha utside riveloka nakurya karma chetaham sankarasya kartasyam upahanyam maprajaha. Arjuna, Name partasti kartavyam. There is no one rule given to me in this world, nor I don't have to get anything by following anything. I am already avapta samasta kama. I have everything. I am Satya Sankalpa. Just by thinking, I can achieve everything. Still, I follow all the rules and regulations. Like in Bhagavatam, if you see Narada Rishi goes to Krishna's Dwaraka, and he wants to check whether Krishna is performing his duty correctly or not. So he goes to 16,108 houses And wherever he go, he saw Krishna was doing amazing work. When he went to one place, then Krishna was waking up at 4 o'clock because it is Brahma Muhurta. So Brahma has to wake up. Brahman, that is Krishna, has to wake up at 4 o'clock. Then only it is called Brahma Muhurta. So Krishna wakes up at 4 o'clock, and the other place is taking bath. Next place, in next house is doing Gayatri. Next place is doing Yajna. In next house is performing Brahmana Puja. In next house he is giving bath for the children. In next house he is helping in cooking. In next house he is going around doing exercise and playing with the horses. In next house he is going out to perform his daily ritual, daily rules. In some house he went, and then the son of that house went somewhere, and so he wanted to go and he wanted to go and rescue the kidnapped son. And in this way he was playing with his wife. In some house he is he's doing offering for that also. Like that, he was performing all kinds of dharma very nicely. Even though he's God himself, he was performing his dharma. So Krishna said, I don't have to follow any dharma, I don't have to follow any karma, but still to present as an example for the people in general, I have to follow my dharma. So Krishna says, as a fools, they do their karma. So you do your karma without getting attached with the Sakta karmanya vidvanso yata kurvanti bharata kuryat vidvansada shabdah chikirshu loka sangraha, for loka sangraha, to set an example for this world. Even though you are self-realized, even though you have qualification for jnana, still you perform your karma for the betterment of people. Nabuddhi bedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam joshayat sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. Don't confuse people in general, because in general people are very attached for doing their karma. So don't teach them, okay, you should give up all this thing and go back to jnana. It's not possible for everyone. Ultimately, it is the goal of our instruction. But what we should do, we should have that expertise, how to deal with him, how to slowly engage him and how to purify him. So this is how we should engage people. We should not immediately preach to them. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna, don't give mispreaching by means of running away from the war. If you run away from the war, then people will follow you. You will set a bad example. So at least for the sake of people, you should perform this war. Then Krishna goes on saying, what's the difference between people who have jnana and without jnana? They perform their work. How they perform their work? Those who have with knowledge and without knowledge, how they perform their work. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvachaha ahankara vimudatma kartaha vidhi manyate tatpavittu mahavado gunakarma vivagayoho gunaguneshu vartante iti madvana sajjate. So those who have knowledge, they understand prakrite kriyamanani, everything is done by material nature. And guneshu prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha, everything is done by guna guneshu vartante iti madvana sajjate. They know the senses are acting on its own, on its vasana. Like in a house there are 5 children, and mother knows about the children. One child is playing, one child is crying, one child is rolling, one child is jumping up and there, one child is playing in the water. What mother will do? Mother cannot go and control everything. Mother will, okay, you do your work, I will do my work. So mother will be doing her work. Similarly, senses will be acting according to its wish, acting according to the prakriti. The eyes will be seeing, the ears will be hearing, the touch will be touching. So this is done by prakriti and guna. It will be automatically happening. But what the person who with knowledge, what he will do, he will be always doing his duty. That is self-realization. That is serving God. So this how Tattvavittu Mahabhavu. It's not possible for everyone. It is for Tattvavittu. Tattvavit means those who understand the soul, those who understand the Tattva, that is reality. So he says, Prakrite guna sammuda sajjante guna karmasu tana Krishna vidovandan Krishna vidna vichalayet. So you also do your duty without attached. So how to do that? Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirasir nirmoho udva yuddhasya vigata juraha. Again Krishna is pushing, okay, you have to fight. Now Arjuna may think, he may have different opinion. Okay, Krishna, I want to go. No, you have to do your fight. How you should do your fight? Nirasihi nirmamo buddhva mayi sarvani karmani. Again he speaks about these 3 kinds of tyagam. If you perform these 3 kinds of yuddhasya vigata jvaraha, without having jvara, that is fear, you just do this work. Why? Yeme madamidam nityam anudishtanti manavaha shraddhavanto suyantaha muchyante deva karmabihi. This is my karma, Arjuna. Yeme madamidam nityam. This is my opinion. What is my opinion? This karma yoga, nishtama karma yoga. This is what I am doing here. What I am doing is nishtama karma yoga. I appear in this world, I create this world, I maintain this world, I destroy this world, thinking this is not for me. It is not I am creating. So Krishna will come to this kind of thing in the 7th chapter also, and here also we'll see the 4th chapter that Krishna is telling, I am not the creator, I am not the person who is reason for the creation, and I don't get the result of this creation, maintenance, and destruction. It is not for me. So Krishna says, you should work in my way. That is eme madam idam. Madam means this is my mata, my opinion, or my path. Madamidam nityam. It is always eternal. It cannot be changed. Eme madamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha. People, they have to follow shraddhavantaha, with faith, anasoyantaha, without any envious. What is envious here? Krishna is doing such a huge work. We cannot even perform small work. For small work, we get attached, we worry, we cry, we become frustrated. But Krishna is maintaining, creating this whole world. He's maintaining, he's destroying, but still he's not attached. He's not thinking, I'm giving chance for this whole human society, for this all this Atma, but they're not understanding me. They're not accepting the purpose of this creation. They're not doing anything for me. They're not grateful. He's not at all thinking. He just keeps on doing his duty. He's not attached with the result. He just keeps on doing his duty. If he is attached to the result, then he will get frustrated. He will burn this world in 1 second. But he's not attached. He's just doing his duty. Creation, maintenance, destruction, creation, maintenance, destruction. Let the Atmas, they understand. Let them come to me. I am not attached with the duty. So this is how Krishna says, Eme madamidam nityam. But if you're attached, if you're not accepting my path, then sarvajnana imodamstan vidhi nashtana chetasa, when you will fall down. Sadasam cheshtate swasthya. Then Arjuna is asking question, okay, Krishna, if that is the case, why people they're not following your rule? Like myself, like Arjuna is thinking, why I'm not doing this? If you have established this rule, this Nishkama Karma Yoga in the Vedas very clearly, why people are not following? Why not they are afraid of punishments? Then he says, Indriya Sindhyate, Raga Dvesha Vyavastito, Tayornavasamaka Chet, Taukyasya Paripantino. What is the use of this? Is because of Vasanas, Arjuna. Because of previous Vasanas, people, they tend to follow their Vasanas, they tend to follow the impressions rather than instructions. We have seen the definition for Dhira. I hope you remember the definition for Dhira. Dhira means one who is not under the control of karma and who is not under the control of impressions. We have these two situations given to the soul. That is karma. Karma cannot be changed. That is this body. We got this karma. And we have impressions. Impressions means we have various situations arising in this world. So when the situation arises, how we react. So how we react according to that, our karma, our vasanas get cleared and we get liberation. So Krishna is telling here, this is all because of vasanas, Arjuna. So you should come out of these vasanas. So Krishna is pushing him the same thing. Shreyan swadharma vigunan paradharma sonushtita swadharme nidanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. So Arjuna, it is better for you to do your swadharma than perform others' dharma, because even when Lord Rama came in this world, even though he is very karunika, he is very merciful, he will never find fault in anyone. He is always grateful to every kind of living entity. He is always ready to accept anyone who surrenders into him. Mitra bhavena sampraptam natyateyam kadanjana dosho yadyapi. So Sakradeva Prapannaya Tavasmiti Ajati Avayam Sarvabhutyatviha Dadami Edat Pradama Ityadi Shlokas explains that Rama is so merciful, he is ready to accept anyone. Still, that Rama was very persistent in his Kshatriya Dharma. When there was a war, he was not giving up the war. He was ready to fight. He killed everyone and he was showing his Kshatriya Dharma. So Krishna is telling that Arjuna, Shreyan Swadharma Gunat Parag Dharma Thanushtita Swadharme Nidanam Shreyaha Paradharmo Bhayavaha. So don't give up your dharma. Don't think that Brahmana dharma or Sannyasa dharma is greater than Kshatriya dharma or Grahastha dharma. No, it is better to perform your own dharma. In your own dharma itself, you can advance. So this is how Krishna stopped talking here. Now you should note this shloka. That is shloka number 3rd chapter, 35th shloka. So this is how Krishna stopped here, speaking about Swadharma, speaking about Kshatriya Dharma. So after this, the conversation will continue from 4th chapter only. From 4th chapter, Krishna will start his continuation. But before that, now Arjuna is asking some side question. Like we have some side questions here. Like I'm giving lecture and we are going along with the flow, and suddenly the side question comes. What we should eat during Ekadasi? Whether we can take black salt or not. So when there's a side question, we cannot skip. But we usually skip, but Krishna doesn't skip because Krishna has only one person to hear. So he is already clearing his doubt, like we have in Bhagavad Gita, why when there's a Krishna says, why it is said Bhagavan Vacha, not Krishna Vacha. So this is a side question and we have already answered that. So here, similarly, Arjuna is asking the same question. He is asking some side question. He says, Atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichannapi varshneya bhaladivani yodichaha. It's asking because Krishna said in the 3rd chapter, Sadasam cheshate swastyat prakrite jnanamanapi prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. He said, nigraha kim karishyati. What is the use of punishment, Arjuna, if people are going to follow their own vasanas? He says, Sadrisham cheshtate swasyat prakrite jnanamanapi means even those who have intelligence, they follow the prakriti guna, they follow the vasanas. So even if you have knowledge, but still people are following, even after knowing that there will be punishment, but people are doing sinful activities, what punishments can do? Punishments cannot do anything unless you purify the person's heart. Just by punishment, you cannot change the sinful sinful activities. So that's what Krishna said in the 3rd chapter. So now Arjuna is thinking about this question, and is asking this question. Krishna, yes, I understand. I'm trying to do my duty, but sometimes I find it very difficult to control myself from doing some sinful activity. Ata kena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha, by means of what inspiration, what induces him, that person, to do sinful activities. Ata kena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichan means even without desire. Anichan napi varshneya bhaladivan yojitaha, with so much strength, even though I don't want to do this sinful activity, but still I am forced to do this sinful activity. What could be the cause? Because Krishna said, you are not a mukhya karta. You should always think you are a upakarta. Lord is a mukhya karta. We have seen that also. That is in the 3rd chapter itself. We saw that Lord is the mukhya karta and we are upakartas. We are not the mukhya kartas. We are not the main doers. There are 5 things necessary to do anything. So we are not the mukhya karta. So if you are thinking yourself mukhya karta, then we get reaction. That's what we saw. So now Arjuna is thinking whether we are mukhya karta or not. Because you said you are the mukhya karta for everything. So even for my sinful activity, are you the mukhya karta? It is like a person may think, okay, everything is Lord's wish. So even if I'm doing my sinful activity, it is also Lord's wish. But he may say like that. Because that is what Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra, they said. When Akrura came, when Akrura came as a messenger, he said, Dhritarashtra, don't do this. You give back all the land to the Pandavas. This is not good. Then Dhritarashtra says, okay, whatever the Paramatma is inspiring you to speak this sentence, the same Paramatma is also inspiring me to speak like this, that I will not give anything. So it is only Paramatma is doing. So is it you are mukhya karta, you are the person who is inspiring me to do this sinful activity? Then Krishna says, don't bring me in this. I'm not the person who is making you to do any sinful activity. I'm not the person making you to do any punya karma activity also. I'm just a light, like we have this light. So what this light will do, it will just simply give brightness. If you are playing cards, if you are playing rummy, if you are drinking, if you are eating meat, you can eat meat under the light and you can still hear Bhagavad Gita under the light. So it's up to you. If you are studying Bhagavad Gita under this light is not inspiring you to read this Bhagavad Gita. Or if you are eating meat, it's not that light is pushing you to eat meat. Light is light. It is just supporting you. Whatever your desire, light is just encouraging you. It's not encouraging, it is supporting you. So without light, we cannot do things. But ultimately, what we want to do, it is up to us. So according to our desire, Lord directs us in that direction. So here, Arjuna is asking this question, very important question. Inspired by what? Pushed by what? I am doing this sinful activities. And Krishna says, it is very easy, Arjuna. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Kama Yesha Krodha Yesha, Rajoguna Samudbhavaha, Mahashano Mahapapma, Vijjena Vihavairinam, Dhumena Vriyate Vagnir Yatadarsho Malena Cha, Yatolpena Vrdo Garbastata Dene Mamritam, Avritam Jnana Vetena, Jnanino Nitya Vairinaha, Kama Rupena Kaunteya, Dushpurena Nalena Cha, Indriyani Mano Buddhir Asya Adhishtana Muchate, Ete Rimohayatyja Jnanama Vritya Dehinam, Tasmat Tvam Indriyanyado Niyamya Bharadarishabha, Apana Prajahishyenam Jnana Vijnanashanam, Indriyani Paranyahur, Indriyabhya Paramanaha, Manasastu Para Buddhe, Yo Buddhe Paratastu Saha, Evam Buddhe Param Buddhva, Samstabhyatmanam Atmanaha, Jahishatrum Mahabaho, Kamarupam Durashatam. So this is how Krishna answers, and we'll just see very quickly what Krishna wants to tell here. He says, Kama Yasha Krodha Yasha. Arjuna, it is all because of Kama and Krodha. There is no difference, Kama and Krodha. Kama, the Krodha comes from Kama, and both are originating from Rajoguna. Kama Yasha Krodha Yasha, Rajoguna Samudbhavaha. What does it mean? If you can decrease your Rajoguna and Tamoguna, if you can, by means of Sattvaguna, then you can win over Kama and Krodha, that is Rajoguna. So this how he says, Kama Yasha Krodha Yasha, Rajoguna Samudbhavaha, Mahashanaha. It is a Mahanashinaha. It destroys everything. Mahapapma. It leads you to do great sinful activities. Vidyena Vihavairinam. Even if you are an intelligent person, it will make you look like a fool. That's why in Mahabharata there is one beautiful shloka. Yat prativyam vrihiyamam hiranyam pasavastriyaha nalam ekasya tat sarvam iti matva samam brajet. In this whole world, you keep only one person, and to that one person you give gold until his knees. The whole world is filled with gold until his knees, and you give all the women in the world, and you give all kinds of animals in this world. You can give everything to one person, but still he will say it's not enough for me. That is how Kama works. It is called Anala. Anala means nala. It is not satisfied. It is like a fire. How much you put, that much it will grow more and more. It won't be satisfied. So you cannot have peace treatise with the Kama. There is no Sama, there is no Dhana, there is no Bheda. Only Danda will work. Because for every action we should see what kind of reaction, what kind of action we should take. So for Kama, if it is a great enemy, then we should fight back. We should try to control that enemy. And how to control an enemy? We have Sama, Dhana, Bheda, Danda. But this enemy, this Kama is called Nitya Vairina. We can subdue our enemies, many enemies in this life or in next life also. But Nitya Vairina, that is always accompanying one enemy, that is Kama. That's what Prahlad says. My dear father, you are thinking you have defeated Indra, you have defeated Varuna, you have defeated Agni, but you should defeat yourself. You should defeat your Kama. If it is not, then you will be defeated ultimately, because this Kama, this enemy is within you. It will defeat you. It will kill you very soon. So here Krishna is telling that this Samadhana, Veda will not work, only Dhanda will work. And how this Kama is working? He says this Kama is present in three different ways. It is very strong, very mild, and very, very mild, very, very less strong. So why Krishna is giving these three kinds of categories? It is not that for information or not to tell, okay, there is strong Kama, there is less strong Kama, and there is much more lesser strong Kama. No, it is for our understanding, it is for our development, it is for our advancement. If you have strong Kama, you should decrease it to less, and then you should completely nullify it. So he says, Dhumena vriyate vagnir yatadarsho malena cha yatolvena vrita garbastata dene mamritam. Like a fire is accompanied by smoke, like a mirror is covered by dust, like an embryo is covered, like a child is covered by an embryo. Our womb is covered by embryo. The Kama is covering the soul in these three ways. What is Kama? Kama means ignorance. Ignorance means the Atma, which is having this consciousness that I am spirit soul and I am completely meant for serving the Lord. This knowledge is covered. This knowledge is covered. How it is covered? I am independent and I'm meant for enjoy, and I'm meant for enjoy this world. So this is how the Kama works. So this kama works in 3 different ways. It is like smoke and fire. What is smoke and fire? Smoke and fire can never be separated. It is always together. Similarly, until we are in this world, the kama cannot be separated. It is always accompanying the soul. So that is called smoke and fire. And smoke and fire means the fire is still present. Even though smoke is there, the fire we can still see. So the kama is very less in demigods. So they can easily find their soul giving up a little ignorant. That is called smoke and fire. The example is given. The second one is mirror and the dust. So if it is a mirror and dust, still you can stand in front of mirror, but you cannot see anything. It is covered. If it is clean, then you can see. This is for humans. They are covered, but they can come out of their ignorance by means of sadhanas. So that's how Cheto Dharpana Mahajanam Bhava Mahadava Vivarpanam Chitra Mahaprabhu says. And what does it mean by mirror and dust? Mirror and dust means we should always keep cleaning the mirror. Like this is the different acharyas they give. Like a fire and the smoke, it is always together. And like a mirror and dust, we should always keep cleaning our chitta. And also ultimately we are like a helpless child in the womb. In the womb, the child may try to come out, but it cannot come out on its own. Similarly, we can try to conquer this lust, but it is not possible by us. It can be only done with the help of the Lord. External help is necessary. Similarly, the womb, when the child cannot come on its own, it needs a help. Similarly, we also need help from the Lord. Then only we can conquer this karma. And this is like the embryo and the womb. It's like trees and animals. It is very difficult for them to realize the self. And the mirror and the dust is like a human's consciousness. It can be done by means of sadhana. And demigods, it is very light. Still, they can perform their service and also a little bit attached. So this is how the kama, these 3 kinds of kama is given. And it says this kama is an unsatisfied. Avritam jnanametena jnano nitya vairinaha kama rupena kauntiya dushpurena analena cha. This analite is like a fire, and najatu kama kamayam upabhogya samayati. This is what Bhagavatam says. Not by enjoying you can come out of kama. Na anubhavena, not just by enjoying more and more you can come out of kama. That's how Daksha spoke. When you pour a ton of ghee on the fire extinguishes. Similarly, when you enjoy lot of sense gratification, then sense gratification will cease. No, it is not the case, because it doesn't happen. We have seen in this world those who have enjoyed, they are frustrated maybe because their karana, their instruments are not working. It is not that because they have frustrated with this. Like when you become old, people, they give up the lusty activities. Why? It is not because they have become pure. It is because their instruments, their karanas are not working. And when they die, they take birth again. Again, when they take birth in the next life, as soon as in the child body itself, we can see their senses are getting agitated. Now we can see this Kali Yuga. Even in the very young age, people are caught into so many kinds of sexual activities. Why? Because so strong of this lusty desire was in their previous life. So the vasanas comes and it is just continuing. It will not get destroyed until we try to make it to destroy. So indriyani manobuddhi adya. So now Krishna is telling where this karma is existing. This karma exists in our indriyas, in our senses, in our mind, in our intelligence. So it's very difficult for us to overcome. It's like a king. A king is staying in a city. This body is like a city. And the prajas, the people are, the senses are the desires. There are unlimited people. And what happens? The ministers and intelligence are considered, the minister is considered to be the intelligence and mind. So the king is sitting in this country, this body, and the ministers like mind and intelligence. First of all, the karma comes to this mind and intelligence. First of all, the mind gets this desire to enjoy something, and then it tells the intelligence. So intelligence is making plans, and then it gives the senses. So senses, they enjoy. So in this way, the ministers, they make a plan to conquer the king. So what they do, they shake hand with their enemies. That their eternal enemy is karma. So karma comes to conquer that. So what it does, slowly takes over the mind, intelligence, and the senses. Ultimately, it conquers the king. Now, king, how can he conquer back? There are two ways to conquer back. Anybody want to answer? Because I'm speaking all the time. How king can conquer this enemy? Means now the enemy has entered inside his city. How king can conquer his enemies? Very fast. Anybody wants to answer? Okay. Rachita Mukherjee.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So the king can control his enemy first of all by keeping good security system, by keeping guards so that they can protect the city. We can keep an eye on him, and it's like if the situation goes uncontrollable, so the king has to send a special forces to capture the enemy, or the king himself has to go and destroy the enemy.
Yes, good. So, okay, we will have this discussion at the end of this class because we are already learning late. So, there are two things he can do. One is by means of his own endeavor, by means of his own Shakti, he should go fight back and conquer when there is no one to help. And second thing is that he can take help from some neighbor king. So, that's what we can do. So, here he says that we should think about the Atma. By means of thinking about that Atma, Tasmatvam Indriyanyadav, by means of Niyama Ravade Arjuna. So Krishna gives a various example. He says, Tasmatvam Indriyan Adhav, means from the very beginning itself, you try to control your senses. Then, how do you control your senses? By means of engaging it properly, Nishkama Karma Yoga, Papanam Prajaheshenam, Jnana Vijnanashanam. Then he says, Indriyani Paranyahur, Indriyavya Paramana, Manasastu Parabuddhir, Yobuddhe Paratastu Saha. Above all, the powerful person is king. So if king is so powerful, he can conquer anything. So by means of this Atma Jnana, by means of this constant concentration, yes, I am a soul. I don't belong to this cheap kind of happiness. It's not my food that I should enjoy this kind of happiness. So thinking in this way, if you are a human, then you won't definitely take food of a pig or food of a camel because you are a different person. By means, even though you are very hungry and you have nothing to eat, still by thinking about this, yes, I'm a human being, I should not eat what pig is eating. Just by this thinking, you can conquer to some extent. How long you can do? There are many cases that people, they die because of eating their own sewage. That is so vastly done in the Western countries while conquering the other country. Anyway, so that is one way to conquer that the enemies. That is by means of your dhyana about the soul. The other easiest process to get help from your neighbor king or your eternal friend who is very powerful, who is ready to help you. That is Lord. If you take help from the Lord, then he will help you. Evam buddhe param buddha samstabhyatmanam atmanaha Jagishatrum Mahabaho Kamarupam Durashatam. So Evam Buddhe, Evam means the way I have taught you. So you follow those teaching. Evam Buddhe Param Buddha. What is the teaching? Engaging all your senses in my service. That is Nishkama Karma Yoga. While performing your Karma Yoga, you destroy all your sin, you destroy all your vasanas. So in this way, what you can do? You can conquer this Kama. What are the means? There are 4 means he has given. One is proper engagement. Second one is constant satsanga, because satsanga helps you to clear your vasanas. That's what Baladev Vidyabhushan says. If you want to come out of your vasanas, you should have strong satsanga. You should have proper engagement of your senses in Nishkama Karma Yoga. Second one is constant engagement in satsanga. Third one is having a proper shastric knowledge, because by shastric knowledge, you can get out of karma by following shastras. And the fourth one is prayerful mood to the Lord. So these are the 4 ways to control your kama. So this is how we finish our 3rd chapter, and we are moving to the 4th chapter. So this 4th chapter is called Jnana Vibhaga Yoga. So this 4th chapter discusses about 4 important topics. The first one is the cause of Lord's appearance. The second one is the greatness of Lord's eternal leelas. And the third one is the presence of Jnana Yoga in Karma Yoga. And the fourth one is the superiority of Jnana, the glories of Jnana Yoga is discussed. So these are the 4 important topics. So we will just go through the 2 main important topics today, the first 2 important topics, because already we are 7:10. So what is the subject matter of this 4th chapter? Prasangat Swabhavoktihi. So Prasangat, in the course of discussion, what happened? Swabhavoktihi. Krishna spoke about himself. Karmano akarmata asya. So the second topic is karmanaha akarmanaha, seeing the non-duty in duty, seeing akarma in karma. That is the second topic. Vedaha jnanasya mahatmyam, and also seeing the glories of the greatness of jnana. Chaturtha adhyaya uchyate. This is what Yamunacharya says, that prasangat swasabhavoktihi karmano akarmata asya cha Vedaha Jnanasya Mahatmyam Chaturtha Adhyaya Uchyate. So these are the 3 topics which are discussed in the 4th chapter. So how this 4th chapter starts? 4th chapter starts with Krishna's intervention. Krishna has given him answer about the Kama. So now Krishna starts speaking. Can you remember where Krishna has stopped in the 3rd chapter? I told you to note down this verse. Where did he stop in the 3rd chapter? 3.35. What is it? 3.35. What's that shloka? Can anyone say the shloka? 3.35. Yes, I agree.
Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharma.
Shreyan swadharmo vigunan paradharma swanashtita swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. Very good. Thank you very much. I agree. So here Krishna has just spoken about Shreyan swadharmo vigunan paradharma swanashtita swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. Arjuna, it is best for you to do your duty. Now Arjuna may think, okay, Krishna, I know about you. You may say anything to establish your rule. You may speak any kinds of rule to make me fight. That's how you work. Suddenly you will say, what is Amavasya? What is Chandragrahana? Surya Chandra coming nearby, that is Chandragrahana. Okay, you are here, so Chandragrahana has happened. So you will concoct any rule, you will concoct any plans to make me fight. So maybe I don't believe. So thinking in this way, now Krishna is speaking, Arjuna, don't think that I have discovered or I have speculated a way to make you fight about this Nishkama Karma Yoga. No, this yoga, it is coming from very long tradition. It is not I am speaking this tradition. This is our treasure for our kings. This is our treasure. This knowledge is very necessary. Imam vivashvate yogam proktaman ahavabhyam vivasvan manave praha manurikshva agave bhavit shreyan swadharmo vigunan paradharma swanashtitat. And then we have this shloka, Imam vivashvate yogam. So you should connect like this. So all the Kshatriyas, they were performing this. How they were performing? Because this was given in the beginning of this world for Kshatriyas, how they should fight. So I have given this knowledge to Vivasvan, and Vivasvan gave it to Vaivasvata Manu, and Manu gave to Ikshvaku, and in this way, this knowledge was coming in the parampara. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarajyo viduhu sakalayana mahata yogo nashta parantapa. So what does it mean? So Krishna is definitely saying that I did not manufacture this dharma. It is abhyam. It is eternal. It is always there. Why it is abhyam? Because it is the essence of the Vedas for Kshatriyas. Because Vedas, I told you, Vedas give specific duties for each and every varna and dharma. So for Kshatriya dharma, there is specific duties for Kshatriya people. So this is whatever I'm teaching you, this Nishkama Karma Yoga, that is the essence for Kshatriyas. So Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktaman Aham Abhyayam. Abhyayam means it is not a temporary result. Whatever the dharma that you are going to follow by means of this knowledge, the result will be Abhyaya. Abhyaya means eternal. Abhyayam, because it is the essence of Vedas, it is always existing, and the result is also eternal. So it is called Abhyaya. Vasman Manave Praha Manurikshva Bhavit. Why this is given to Raja Rishis? Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Raja Rishiyo Viduhu. So he says this knowledge was transformed from Raja Rishis. It is called Raja Vidya. Why it is called Raja Vidya? Because it is king of all the knowledge. So it may be called Raja Vidya, or this Vidya was mostly prominent in the Rajas, in the kings. Why? Because there are two reasons. One is because the kings are the leaders of the society. So if leader they get this knowledge, then they can make whole society to follow this knowledge. So kings were given this knowledge. That's why they are called Raja Rishis. They're not just Rajas, they're Raja Rishis. They were living like Rishis. If they are not Rishis, they cannot make the people to follow the Dharma. So that's why this knowledge was particularly given to kings. That is one reason. The second reason is because king, if you are a king, then you should have both attachment and detachment. Like Ramachandra, when there was a announcement that he will get kingdom, he decorated himself very nicely and he was ready to get coronated. He was attached, but as soon as he heard that there is no more kingdom, there is no more Pattabhisheka, he immediately left. There is no attachment immediately. There is attachment and detachment. When according to time, place, and circumstances, he was behaving. That's how kings they used to act. Kings they used to live so luxuriously. Even in the night time, they used to carry the umbrella. The soldiers used to carry umbrella in the night time. Even in winter, they will have chamara. They will have so many different kinds of eatables and drinkables and so many kinds of entertainments. They had everything, all kinds of enjoyment. But the same king who had all kinds of enjoyment, when there is a war, he should be ready. He will be ready. He will be ready, and he will lead the army. He will be the first person to get hurt, to get cut, or to die in the war field, because the person who was rolling in the chandana, who was rolling with the women, who was having such a kind of highest enjoyment, the same king has to give up everything, go and stand in front of the army and fight. Means he should have this jnana that unless he thinks this body is temporary, this body is tucha, this body is no use, he will not have this kind of detachment. So kings, they had both attachment and detachment also. So that's why that to give them vairagya, this knowledge, this atma jnana was spoken to them. It is very much important. So he says, evam parampara praptam imam raja. This is our parampara. This is our generation. This is for Kshatriya generation knowledge. And it is common for everyone. Whomever has this body, they should have this detachment from this body. So it applies for everyone also, but this is especially for leaders. Evam parampara praptam imam raja rajyo sakalena mahata yogo nashta parantava. But it got lost. How it got lost? Like a person in a family, they follow some tradition. And while following the tradition, that there should be some meaning. There is some meaning to follow the tradition, why they are following the tradition. But what happens when the time goes on, the meaning, the reason behind the tradition goes away, but the tradition stays back. Like nowadays, people, they follow some kind of tradition. Like when you go to temple, you should sit and come. So we all go, we take darshan, we sit and we come back. We don't see the meaning. What is the meaning? Meaning is when you go to temple, in temple there will be pravachana, always you are glorifying Lord. So when you go there, you sit and hear about the Lord and you come back. That is the whole meaning behind. But you forget the meaning, you just go there, sit and come back. Means the tradition remained, the knowledge has gone. That's how Krishna is saying here, that you are a Kshatriya, you are following, you are behaving like a Kshatriya, and you are trying to protect your country, and you are trying to fight, and you are trying to get out, you are trying to run away from. But I have made all this arrangement with a purpose. So don't think I don't have a purpose. You are just a ritualistic Kshatriya, but you should understand the purpose behind the war. So this is how Krishna is connecting him back to the war. So he says, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarishi vidhu sakalena mahata yoga nashta parantava. So I'm very happy to bring back this knowledge to you, Arjuna. So this is how we should see this shloka, and it applies for everyone who wants to understand Bhagavad Gita. This Bhagavad Gita has to be understood in parampara. Without understanding in parampara, we cannot understand this Bhagavad Gita. There are mental speculators who speak, who give various meanings for Bhagavad Gita, but they cannot understand because it is not coming in parampara. So we should understand this Bhagavad Gita is not meant for, especially meant for those who are detached or sannyasis. This is meant for grahasthas. This is meant for Kshatriya kind of grahasthas, means leaders. This is meant for whomever is struggling in this world, like a war field. The war field, it was spoken between two grahasthas. So this Bhagavad Gita is meant for us who are managing, who are running, who are struggling in this world. This is how this Bhagavad Gita is very important for us. And I will stop here. I don't want to go further because the other topic is about Krishna's appearance, about Krishna's avatar. So it is very important topic. I don't want to take again. So I will stop here. There is 10 more minutes. If you have any questions or comments, you can ask now. And we'll see tomorrow the remaining 4th chapter and 5th chapter together. Hare Krishna. If there is any questions or comments, you can ask now. If there are no questions, then I can conclude 2 things. Either you have understood everything or you did not understand anything from today's program, from today's topic, because yes, we are talking very fastly and there are so many points covered. Maybe that's why. No questions? Okay, I want to ask some suggestions from you. How we are teaching, is this okay for you? How we are teaching? If you have any suggestions, you can tell now. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhuji, can you tell me the difference between the Sita Pragya and the Dhira? Are both the same or it's different?
Dhira means, one who is above karma and who has given up the sense gratification, one who has given these vasanas, is trying to become Siddha Pragya. Siddha Pragya means already is in a liberated state, or Siddha Pragya. So there is no much difference. The Dhira becomes Siddha Pragya very soon. That is how Siddha.
Okay. So both are same. That's what you're saying, right? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. One more. Kalpagam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Can
Krishna.
you give the study materials to study?
Study materials, yes, I can give you, but I don't know how to give you. I need to type everything. I need to make a, maybe some of you take some service. No, like we have our lecture, so you can go through our lecture, make some nice points, make what is the essence of this lecture. Somebody can take first chapter, someone can take second chapter, someone can take third chapter. So in this way, you can now do this kind of notes and stuff, because already we have spoken everything. So everything is in the recording format. So if you can make just points, or if somebody knows how to make PPT, you can make a PPT also out of it, and you can use for your preaching. So it is very difficult for me to type notes and I don't know how to give you my notes also to type, but you can do. If you are interested, then I can help you.
Okay, Prabhu.
I will
Because
try my best.
but very difficult to answer the questions.
Which question?
Like if you are giving 20 questions, we are able to answer like 15, and like sometimes it's very deep like that, because I have heard all your lectures, but this time I feel it's very difficult to understand.
Difficult to understand the questions.
Questions.
Yeah,
Like,
I have personally said this question because previously I used to ask devotees to set questions. This time I have taken up this service of setting questions because I wanted to make sure that we understand, we get the points right in this Bhagavad Gita. I can help you with answers. That's not a problem. Just you try to squeeze your brain, make some work, because every day I'm spending 6 to 8 hours to get notes, to study, to analyze from different commentaries I'm giving you. So as I am working for 6 to 8 hours, you can spend some time in, at least when you're hearing this 1 or 1.5 hour, you can make some notes and try to remember. It is from your side. If you understand, then it will be very, very helpful. And anyway, it's not an exam. we're not going to punish you or anything like that. But yeah, there is some suggestion from Anu. Can we have a quiz question? Yeah, maybe weekly once we can have some discussion also. If you have any questions, if you want to ask anything, if you have some other comments, we are open. We can have one day session like that in a week, so that we may discuss about these things. Yes, I will make you. I cannot make questions simple, but I can make you to answer better way. you can come to that stage. That's what we can. Okay, Jagannathan Srinivasa Murthy. You please unmute yourself, sir. Should unmute yourself. Talk. Unmute yourself. You should unmute yourself. I'm not able to hear you anything. Unmute yourself, sir, please. There is an unmute button in your screen. You need to unmute. I'm not hearing anything. You have to unmute yourself. Okay. Can you type in the chat box at least? Jagannathan sir, can you type at least the chat? Okay. Ravinder Mohan Sharma.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I wanted to ask about the question, the comment that you raised about those in full knowledge or close to full knowledge about sinful reactions, but they're still doing the sins, although they know that they have full knowledge of the soul, they have full knowledge of the Lord, they are aware of the sinful reactions, but they are compelled to do it. I understand from your lecture why they are doing it. But what if the person, in spite of doing, trying to avoid the sins, choose to do it because of another person and don't want to let the person feel down, and want to, no choice but to do it because they are feeling compassionate towards the person or what, and because of that, does indirect sinful sins.
Anyway, whether it is for you or you are having compassionate that yes, I should help him or I should do this for him for his enjoyment. Anyway, that is all comes under vasanas only. So unless we have some good association, we will be carried away by various kinds of asanas. So to get out of vasanas, a good association is necessary. To come out of your karma, shastric knowledge is necessary. So both are necessary. Okay. Jagannathan sir, I don't know. You have unmuted. Yes. No, again you got muted. You got muted again. Unmute yourself, please. I'm waiting to hear your question. Hare Krishna. Yes, sir. Hearing anything? Not hearing. I'm not hearing. Maybe you can switch off your video and just give your voice. Or you can type your question. You have my mobile number, so you can type your question to me directly. It is not getting connected. Huh? Not able to hear you anything, sir. Okay, Chintamani.
Yeah, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Today's session was excellent. I have to go through the session once again. There are so much of meanings. But Prabhuji, what I feel and understood that having this human body itself is a sin. We are walking on the road, walking anywhere, we are committing day in, day out, we are committing a lot of sin, even though it is a sunlight or dark. So how, I don't think that we can come out of this sin committing every day, whatever we do.
Yes. There are some sins that which are unavoidable. There are some sins which we do based on our previous vasanas. So unavoidable sins, for that we need yajna. That's why grahasthas are recommended with Panchamaha yajna. So by means of Panchamaha yajna, we can come out of the sin. Jivo jivasya jivanam. There is no other way. That we are in the sinful world. What else you can expect? We have to do some sin, but there should be some. There is some instruction given what we should do and what we should not do. So if we are working according to Shastra, working according to Lord's order, then it is not sin. Even though you are killing, it is not sin. If you are doing it for your country, but if you are doing it for you, for your own sense gratification, then that is sinful reaction. So ultimately, it is based on the purpose. Even if you are stealing, it should not happen, but it happened in the Alvar's life also. Even he was stealing, it was not considered a sinful reaction because he was doing it for Lord. So the purpose is different. But even if you are doing dharma, if it is not for Lord, then it is considered sinful. So ultimately, the Lord's satisfaction should be the seen. So in this whole world, our only thing of survival is to please Him and to understand Him and to serve Him. If that is the case, then there is no sin by means of, yes, there will be expenditure in the company for sure. If you are running a company, there will be expenditure, but expenditure, whether it is meant for companies improvement or it is meant for companies destruction, it is meant for your own sanskarification, that we should see according to purpose. Okay. Okay, there is one more comment from, I don't know, Sachi. Okay, they say we are not very much, we have never learned Sanskrit a lot. It is difficult, it takes a lot of time. You see, whatever I'm asking you question, it's from our class only. So you can hear the questions and you can hear the class again maybe, and it is good for you to learn some terms, some Sanskrit terms in Bhagavad Gita. Ultimately, when you come out of this Gita Sastri, people, if they ask you what did you understand from Bhagavad Gita, then you should be able to tell the whole Gita flow just like that. It is not a just like you attend some Gita course and then there's some PowerPoint and you see some pictures, some photos, and you take some notes. No, you should understand some. That's why we call it as Gita Shastri, and we have already announced this from Acharya's commentaries, and it will be a little tough. So if it is possible for you, you try to work on it, try to improve. Otherwise, I will help you. Definitely, we are here to help you only. It is not that we want to discourage you, we want to help you, but how to help you? By giving you a little tougher questions so that you will improve more. If it is very tough, then from the second chapter, I will reduce the Sanskrit terms. I will try to give very simple, in a very simple English. I will try to do. Okay, so I stop here and we'll see tomorrow. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.